Mic check 1 2 1 2. Rocking the Wu-Tang shirt again. See, the ducking effect worked this time. All right, who's rocking with us tonight? Ain't nobody in here yet. Anyone getting notifications out there? What's going on? Random liveness. That's how we do it. Who just stepped in? Welcome, welcome. Who do we got here? Rafael. Bienvenidos, señor Marquez. What's poppin', bro? What's going on outside? Are you checking outside, seeing what's going on? Stringers are out. Not in LA, at least not at the moment. But it's popping up in Bakersfield at the moment, right now. And maybe we'll tap in. There's a standoff situation happening in Bakersfield. Blam blams fired. Supposedly dudes locked in the house. Watching here on the phone. Yeah, he was they say he's got an AR, and I don't know, there's armored Bobcat skid steers there, choppers and the whole nine. So maybe we'll tap in. And tear gas. So there, I heard some of the popping. I don't know if that was some of the, what is it, the flashbang grenades popping off. And so who knows? It's been going on for a couple hours now, and it seems like, I don't know, not much movement within the house. But yeah, who knows? I wonder if the dude's still even on this planet. Makes you wonder. Oh, well, what do you know? You moved to Bakersfield a week ago from the Valley. Trip out. What's popping off, bro? If it's just you and I here, we could jump into it and see what's popping off. Instead of talking about it, we'll jump right into it. Heads up, it's going to be a dark night. We're hanging out, chill out, kick back. You know, we do our thing. So a heads up. And yeah, here we go. Let's just jump right into it. It's Califield live in Bakersfield. Let's see, where you at, Cali? Let's get this going. Get a little volume going for you. So I kind of gave you a bit of a rundown, and we'll get an update here, I'm sure. Let's go like this. All right. Rafael, so I don't know if you hear choppers outside right now, then this is probably what's happening. He did shoot to another scene just because he felt things were slow. But you look at that, you got ATF there, armored trucks. I'm sure these dudes got thermals and stuff too. Now that it's dark, they were talking about
Transer Z. Thank you for those gifted memberships, man. I appreciate that.
And Cali Fields did
The
give us
ATF?
permission to restream his stream. He said as long as his logo showing and everything, we got that rocking. So thank you to Cali Field
Yeah.
Lives. Yet yesterday we were talking about just different gadgets that these stringers use. One of them is obviously scanners.
Has anybody heard of the ATF police?
And I got a way to broadcast the scanners. Maybe we'll test that out a little later on. And Rafael says, no, not by his area. I don't know the city. Well, we're getting to know the city here now, buddy. Welcome to Bakersfield. He's like, well, it's nothing.
Okay.
Nothing new coming from the valley.
Hey, thanks, man.
And when you say the valley, I'm sure you mean out here, the valley out here, right? Check out the movie 3 Days in the Valley if you haven't. And there's the homie Roger. How's it going, Roger? Should we give Roger a rundown? This is Bakersfield, California, Roger. We got a standoff situation going on. It's been going on a couple hours. Dude supposedly has an AR. There's been some
hey, once again, guys, I want to thank all of you guys for watching in, man. To everybody that smashed a thumbs up, like, shared, follow the stream. Thank you guys, man. We're currently on scene of an active standoff right here in Oildale, California. Apparently, the suspect shot at the cops multiple times. That's pretty much all I know based off of what witnesses have told us. The standoff's probably been active just a little over 2 hours. Yeah. As far as I'm aware, there's no injuries, and the suspect is still alive and barricaded inside of the house. This is Kern County Sheriff's Department, the agency that's handling this situation. And yeah, man.
Massive county,
we've currently been
Kern
live for a
County.
total of 3 hours, and we're going to stay here until this is over. Whether it's 6 hours or 8 hours, we're going to be here, man, until this scene's done. So
we won't. So yeah, we're gonna be hanging out, Roger. We're
gonna stick around until the scene's over, or until we have no battery life whatsoever.
Roger that.
ATF basically is a task force for firearms. Okay, got it.
Alcohol, tobacco,
he fired
and firearms.
AR rifle at him.
Yep, Rafael. I used to rock 8182, bro. Lived in Glendale.
So yeah, luckily for me, man, if I didn't have the settings that I had on this camera, I'm gonna show you how dark it looks on it.
He's got the R2D2 zoom. Check it out.
So this is how dark it really is. Like, unless I'm looking at the camera, this is all I see. But because of Sony, the power in Sony, man.
Does that zoom need some lube, or is that just the way it's supposed to sound? I've heard some zooms that sound really
into day.
Really cool.
Sony
almost
A7 III, man.
Has an ASMR effect.
Yes, sir.
So Rafael, you heard where this is at? Are you you're like, nope, I'm far away from that. Hopefully you are.
Still on the show?
Yeah, no, I was just talking to the property manager. She's saying that
Here, I'll meet it. Come here.
Looks like the skid steer is being moved in. They were talking about towing out a U-Haul that was there as well. And let's check out what's going on. Looks like they're about to make some stuff move here. Heads up. And the homeboy muted. He's talking to someone there. We'll get audio shortly. But yeah, earlier the skid steer was, I thought it was going to break the house down or something.
All right, guys. I got another person that's just going to confirm what I said based off what he heard from witnesses on the situation on the scene.
So I was hearing from a property manager that a suspect barricaded himself inside the residence with a they said fully automatic rifle, probably just an AR and a pistol, and that he took shots at the police officers, and the police officers retaliated with tear gas.
And none of this has been confirmed. It's just all based off of he say, she say kind of thing.
Well, we heard the pops earlier.
It was a property manager of the actual apartment.
Which could have been the tear gas,
dude,
but
thanks, man. It looks like they're backing up, bro.
Well, they're pulling something out.
Can you imagine if we had our camera mounted to the windshield of that bear? Right? Oh my gosh. Dang.
Are they calling it a Bearcat? If that's what it is. It's totally armed. And they were driving it up and down the block. Let's see what they're moving here. Could be the U-Haul. Or is that an armored vehicle? Let's get a zoom. Remember, you could zoom on the YouTube. I like reminding you all of that. And then don't forget that you could upgrade the video quality, hopefully. I don't know how it works on live streams, but on videos that are posted. What is it?
She said that she knows
2014 or 2040? What's the new?
There's no RV back there? No, I just heard it.
Upgrade number.
Yeah, I just heard there was a back house, bro.
Right here, we got it's 4:20 here, Roger. 10:40. Yeah, we don't mean to keep you up. We just got some action going on here, so. And our friend Raphael just kind of moved into the neighborhood, somewhere in the neighborhood. So he's getting
So it appears that they're bringing out the Bearcat, yes.
A live view of the neighborhood. So heads up there. Never spent much time in Bakersfield. I always usually just pass through, on the way up north or south, usually on the 5. And, it's just all flat land, farming, crop dusters. You see the little planes go by, farting away. And I'm sure I've passed through the town of Bakersfield, but never spent much time there. But I hear it be popping off. You got stringers out there, so. And we will get into some stuff that we kind of let. The stream crashed on us last night, which was good timing. But I did want to continue on the flow there of the stream, so we'll get into that a little later. I'm just kind of filling things out right now. Since Rafael mentioned, he was like, "Yeah, I just moved out towards Bakersfield," and I'm like, "Dude, well, we're out here. Let's check it out." And he did mention the specific town and all that, so it's maybe the outskirts. I don't know exactly this part of California, but he did mention Kern County, which is a massive county. San Bernardino, which we'll get into in a little bit also. San Bernardino County is, I think, the biggest county. Humboldt's another massive one. Of course, Los Angeles is pretty big, but yeah, I think Kern, San Bernardino take the cake. Of course, Trinity, Mendo. Name a large county in California. Yeah, that's the armored vehicle there. And there's the U-Haul. So they got the U-Haul out of the way. Anyone wondering, that's a Zoom. That's a Cali Field Zoom there. I call it the R2D2. And we got Jennifer Patterson. Good evening from California. So we're in Southern California here. I guess, Bakersfield is considered, you're on your way to Central California from out here. I don't know if they consider themselves Southern California. They're probably at the border there. That's some movement.
Not your shot, am I?
Here we go.
Yeah, I think they're going to move more vehicles.
Whoa. Yeah, they mentioned the one vehicle and the U-Haul, but I guess a bunch of more vehicles in the way. It's crazy. He's right next to that window there. And I'm surprised they're not using maybe they are. I don't know. Thermal drones. I don't know if the thermal drone could see through the house. But the helicopter, and get the ghetto bird and the FLIR or whatever.
I keep on saying the Rook. The Rook. What is that?
Type of thermal they're using these days, but
that has the attachment on the front where they can hold like 6 guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a big shield in the front of like a forklift.
Everybody kept saying they had it on the other side.
It's called the Rook.
Yeah.
Whoa. Take that back. Let's see. Gotta get used to all the effects here, but I was trying to use this ducking effect, which lowers the sound of whoever may be talking or whatever sound's going on. And I was going to read Roger's comment there, but I hit the want. So that was for me. Cut that short. So Bakersfield is where Buck Owens, Merle Haggard, yes, and a few more started the Bakersfield sound country music. Yeah, Merle Haggard.
Because they just can't do anything about it. It uses more digital lighting to try to help it. So it makes it blurry.
And I wonder if there's another connection with Merle, maybe being up north in Humboldt. I've heard his name a lot up that way. Gotta look into that. Who's this? Izzy Pop. What's up? I was lurking over at Scully Pop's live stream. I seen y'all were hanging out. I don't know.
Yes, sorry guys. Over? Once again, I'm not reading comments because the device that I'm streaming on, I turned off the screen display to conserve the battery life in the battery. So it's either save battery, live stream this scene longer, or read your comments, and in 30 minutes, an hour from now, the battery's gonna die. But if we keep doing it the way we're doing it, we should be able to be here another 3-4 hours.
Yeah, I went over there and gave y'all the thumbs up and dropped in silently. Big up Scully Pop. Much love, brother. Yeah, I came in right when you were uh-oh. There you go. He cut the music playing. It sounded like someone was pulling up in a motorcycle. And yes, I was just gonna say you were getting on Scully for the music. You're like, hey, there's music playing. And I could control that here too. You were getting on him about the music, and you were saying that because you had your music playing in the background too, which made me think at the moment it was something I wanted to remember and mention also that I was talking about. And I've been talking about playing music. I got the DJ set up here.
Also, too, guys, if you haven't smashed a thumbs up,
get a little itch later.
I don't believe I've ever got 2,000 thumbs up. If I did,
and I was talking about trying to mix
for 7 years.
Copyrighted music, but I wonder if you like somehow there's a way to alter the music. There's effects here.
I believe we got 1.8.
Alter it somehow a bit.
1.800
and then when you're mixing it with other songs,
1,800 thumbs up. Thanks to you guys.
If that would,
yeah, but I don't remember the last time we hit 2,000. I don't think I've ever hit 2,000.
Help to throw off maybe the algorithm if it's being mixed. 2 songs at the same time, because I've noticed that. I think it seems like maybe that's a little loophole there. We'll have to hopefully and not find out. I am three by getting in trouble, but maybe find out some other way and confirm that. But I have
I'm talking real low because the cops are in front of me. I don't want them really hearing me, you know.
And I get notifications even for using the copywritten music, but it says it doesn't impact my videos and stuff. But they do mention about
away from hitting 28,000
them not being
subs.
able to get monetized. But today I got a message saying that this last night's stream, I think, was eligible for whatever. I don't know. It's just like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I don't mind that they send those messages as long as there's like they said, no impact to the channel or video. So, and if Izzy, if you're still chilling, or anyone else stepping in, La Casa. Yeah, we got this standoff situation. ARs involved, rounds discharged, armored trucks, ATF. There were choppers earlier. And yeah, going back to the thermal and stuff, like, yeah, these guys seem pretty chill outside of the house. It's been going on for a couple hours already. And I was questioning whether there's anything, maybe they're in communication with the guy inside. I don't know. We haven't heard anything like that. But yeah, no movement. Dude had a pistol too, they said. Something like that, but nothing confirmed. But there were some, because I was watching the stream earlier before, so I think Smoke and Scan is maybe streaming this still now. And I forget the dude's name, Ikmil. I don't know how to pronounce it, but he does a lot of streams. And actually, he was streaming earlier, Ikmil, of a plane crash in, let's see, I believe it's Ashland County, Ohio, or some sort of Ashland, Ohio. Another small plane down. We're talking about the 2 local ones yesterday here in last night's stream. In the past few days, there's been a couple planes, small planes go down here in Southern California. One was in Simi Valley.
Yeah, also too, guys, if you guys would like to see professional
2 fatalities,
photos
including a dog
of this scene,
and then
check out
another one that
Fluke.
landed in a golf course.
In the chat right now,
and those
I dropped the link and I pinned it. Photos Fluke. He's on Instagram.
I think they made it.
You guys want to go over there and follow him? There goes the link right here.
Ohio one I heard was, I don't know, they were reporting it as the pilot being trapped.
You guys want to go over there and subscribe to his Instagram? Check out his photos.
Small plane. as well.
He's shooting on
and
a
then,
Canon.
but then
Mind
I
if I
think
throw
later
your
they were.
Canon-
I
your
don't know. There was
camera
mixed
info?
reports that maybe he
It's a
was.
Canon R6, right? Yeah, for sure.
Not
Yeah,
alive.
he's shooting on a
So-
Canon R6 with a lens.
And here we go,
100 to
moving the
500
U-Haul, another
millimeters.
U-Haul. I don't know what's going
So
on
the
here. Let me
photos
see.
are
What kind of U-Haul is
crazy,
this? I thought
crazy
we
cool.
seen a U-Haul on the street already.
Check him out.
Is that a trailer?
Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't heard no call up. Yeah, like nothing. You know what the
Who's
scene reminds me of?
copyrighted?
The Wasco.
Nobody. I'm
Standoff.
talking about like the
5 years
music that I
ago.
use
The
in the
fatal
intro.
officer. Oh my god.
The last Standoff I went to was
What
the
else?
one down here in Illinois.
Yeah, it's not copywritten,
Was that
and it's
two-story
off
building?
of
I think it had the dad and the
Spotify.
daughter. I think it was on the inside.
Where?
Oh yeah, yes, I understood what you're talking about. You were
Recently?
getting on Scully Pop for playing the New Orleans, the street music,
The same
and then at the
officer
same time
that
you were playing
was
yours.
his best friend
So,
that passed away in
and I
Wasco.
thought it was pretty funny. That's
On
when
that
I was
Standoff?
hanging
Seen it.
out, lurking
He's
in
on
the
this,
in the
he's on this
stream.
YouTube.
So I
Yeah,
seen
I'm
all
pretty
that
sure
go
he's probably
down. I thought it was funny, but that's super cool of you that
Right?
you're a great partner. You know, you really take care of Scully and the channel, and I see that you really care, and you let him know, hey, you know, when things, yeah, you're on top of him. You're on his butt.
So he's pulling out something.
As you
I
should
don't know
be.
what the hell is he removing. Oh, a U-Haul.
He's lucky to have you.
A trailer, I mean.
Let's see. Jeff's got a tiger. What's going on? What is going on here? Let's see.
Okay, so they're basically using that little bobcat
Jeff says he's got
to
a
remove
tiger by the
equipment.
tail. It's plain to see. It won't be much.
And then I'm
Hey, he's
guessing
singing a song there. Who's
what
that?
they're gonna do is
When you're through with me. Don't
I'm
get
guessing what they're gonna
copyright for
do
that,
next
huh?
is position the Bearcat closer to the house. Mm-hmm.
Find a small hole, fill that place with bass. Damn, Diesel. What up, D? How are things in New Jersey, bro? Hey, you know, I referred. It was actually last night.
Want me to take you back to your right?
You know, I was talking about the Zoom. You hear homeboy Zoom here? Call it the R2D. Let's see.
R2D2 Zoom.
Yeah, whenever you're ready, dude, let me know. I'll take you back to your car. Yeah, no issue.
Yeah, it looks like he picked up another stringer. And
I'm
they were
gonna
rolling
be
together.
here
They had
until this
shots from
thing's
the machine.
done.
But last
Until
night,
I have no battery life.
Senor D.
Yeah.
Galloway, known as,
Yeah, I really hope
call
I
him
can stay here until this is
Reezy.
over.
See if we summon him. There's Tracy. Hello, Tracy. Yeah, SWAT ATF. They probably got Bakersfield's finest as well. There's a chopper. Ghetto Bird's back. Need the eagle sound. Actually, Dr. Green Thumb show uses that one a lot. All right, we're moving here. The boys are coming in hot.
Drone units
Let's see.
with BPD or what?
And so, yeah, we're tripping on homeboy Zoom. And I was talking about there's certain Zooms that have an ASMR effect. There's a lot of things in Bigfooting, when you're out Bigfooting, at least to me, that have the ASMR effect to me. The sound of crunching leaves when you're in the forest. You know, and I know for some
that's
that could be
BPD,
like
bro.
a giveaway. It's like, oh man, someone's coming in. It could be very loud, but I like that sound of just even hiking But yeah, that crunchy
So
leaf
PPD
sound,
brought
and
their drones
then
out
the sound of zooms.
to come
So
help
there's certain people
Casey
with
on.
certain cameras, and Diesel in New Jersey is one of them. And when they zoom, it makes almost like this clicking, like this weird little clicking sound. And to me, it's like music to my ears. So keep on zooming, Diesel. And Diesel loves zooming, let me tell you. Zoom, 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 capoeira mataum. Don't get hit for that one either. Capoeira songs. Is this
All right,
I'm
guys. So
not
I'm not getting shot.
yeah, well, domestic in the sense that it's
Can't really see
it's
anyway,
here
huh?
locally in the States. It's not international.
Is this your family?
But yeah, this is
Yeah.
California.
I figured it was when he said
What did we say? Central? What do we decide? Bakersfield? Is it Southern Cali or is it Central? Is it borderline?
All right, guys. So
I
if
don't mind if
any
they rep
movement or anything changes,
SoCal. It's all
I'll
love. I love all of
obviously move the
California
camera,
equally.
reposition the camera, and all that stuff as well.
See, there's a little.
You guys want to see the bear or this little thing?
There it is. Look at that little beast. That'd be dope to have one of those. Part of the unit. Go squatching. In case there are any dogmen or what is it? Those pale crawlers.
Cool. That thing's bulletproof all the way around. Too.
Woo! Top shotta.
Yep.
Oh, there's a quiet zoom there. Slow. And let's see, we had some ASMR. Let's see, you'd be surprised. What's Diesel saying? Someone probably 20, 30 feet away walking through the leaves, you wouldn't hear it. Yeah, that too. Let's see, what was that? Thought I seen a drone or something. Could be lens flare. Yes. That too. There we go. For those that don't know. And of course, Izzy Pop and Scully Pop, that's kind of their thing. They do what they call brain tingles. Tingle, tingle, tingle. Yeah. How does Scully do? Scully. But anyway, yeah, another thing Bigfooters used to do, and you know, Diesel, Mark's one of them. When they do the whispers, when you tell them something might be happening, you're like, shh, cheer, hey. And even when I'm with people in the field, you know, and they start, hey, it gives me the brain tingles. Hopefully it's tingling your brain as well. Yeah, we talked about when I was young, our dad used to take us to the barbershop, my brother and I. We used to get our hair cut, and the buzzing from the machine I used to knock out on the chair. Cold. What's up with those frequencies of those buzzing machines? It put you to sleep. I enjoyed it though. She says, nah, it's his thing. Oh, all right. All right. Izzy Pop. It's not her thing.
Oh, look, man. You can see right here, man.
All right, what's the plan here, guys? Looks like they're, I mean, getting ready to do something. Looks like they're working a plan out. But at the same time, they seem pretty chill. Like, whoa, hold on, dude's got his hand up there. They're near the window. It's like they're not, you know, pointing arms at the house. I mean, I would imagine. What do you think? They got snipers, so they feel that comfortable, or maybe they know us something. Maybe dude could be injured and still armed. I don't know. Yes, you do. And you design all types of other stuff too, right? You're sharing all types of stuff that you've done. And I find it super cool. Who knows? I might need your services one day if I could afford it. But it's super cool, the stuff that you do. I've checked out your videos. Yes. And I do. And do you have, let's see, you got a wrench already, Izzy? Because if not, you should. Someone should be posting links. I don't see anyone sharing links to their channel, all you content creators. It's cool that I get a cool little bunch of super cool peeps. I be seeing y'all. I love checking y'all out and what you do. Yeah, we took a little break, a few days off. We're still active, you know, doing our thing behind the scenes as usual. Yeah, I think these guys are hanging out. We're gonna go ahead.
What are they bringing in now?
Let's see. I hear more machinery.
Look at they switched. They brought in.
All right, what are we bringing in here?
That's like what is it called? The Rook.
The Rook.
That's like basically a bulletproof shield.
All right, here we go. What is it? That Robo Dog? They should pull the Robo Dog out.
Yeah, that's like the bulletproof.
But I guess maybe that county don't got it. I think it's an LA thing. You got the Robo Dog out here. We've seen it in action. I seen it.
Where were you at on that rescue?
I seen it at work. It opened a door, went inside the house. It's pretty trippy to see.
Yeah.
And then they have what's the other one? There's Ninja Dave.
Here.
Yeah, have a peep, bro. Come hang out. All right, finally. Look. There go the links, hot links.
Yeah, also to you guys, if you guys want to see another angle of the same scene, don't forget to check out Dad's Gone Live. He's live on YouTube. And also Jeff, Bravo Stream Media. Jeff is on the opposite side. So you got 3 different angles of the same scene. So if my live stream dies or his live stream dies, feel free to rotate back and forth. And yeah, or check us all, watch all 3 of us at the same time. Yes, we're back here, guys. Yeah, or you guys can check us out all at the same time. Good stuff. Good stuff. Huh? Why?
Killer bees.
Oh yeah, stream's live. Yeah, it's been down for a minute, dude.
Send in them Wu-Tang killer bees.
Yeah.
Okay, come chat me know.
I've had this shirt a long time. I rarely wear it. That's why I
don't mention other streamers.
Not that.
Wow, Jacob.
Last night jumped up, kind of doing the same thing. It's all good. Did shower.
We got a van coming in. Do you know them? Yeah. Or you just like going off the
MATHOD, man.
I was gonna say,
Mr.
is that all
Meth.
I gotta do? Hey, I'm with them, brother.
I like Method Man. Trippy dude. Seen him live several times and never. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I did hook up. So one time, Method Man, this is up in Humboldt County. And this is when the Girl Scout cookies just came out.
Yeah.
And BD, I'd always take trees to the show because, artists always love when you bless them up with the trees. And them being up in Humboldt, it's only in our nature to take care of peeps when they come through, right? Bless them with the finest. And so they were performing at it was an Arcata, and Dr. Green Thumb was in the house to Be Real. And my son actually got to meet, and I've been wanting to meet Dr. Green Thumb, and my son got to meet him, and I was there, and I didn't get to run into him, but I did run into Red and Meth, Red Man and Method Man. So these guys were performing. It was a small venue too. It was super cool. I mean, hot boxed. It was a good show. But I hit Red Man off with the nice zip. Yeah, whole zip. Because I had it ready because I knew these guys were going to be there. I was like, dude, I got something for you. And yeah, hit Red Man off. So I know Red Man. And I'm sure Method Man. And then who knows, maybe B got into that. Be Real maybe got into that. But yeah, definitely Red Man. And there's been other people that I've blessed up over the years like that.
Over on the scene, yeah, it was initially a chase that landed down
Wu-Tang. I remember seeing them. I was like 15 at the time here at the Hacienda downtown LA. We were able to get into this club. We were teenagers at the time. We were teens at the time. We were able to get in. We used to be able to do everything up in there, and they had some of the dopest hip hop acts coming through. Rest in peace, Bigga B. And Wu-Tang. That's when I first seen Wu-Tang and everything. And met Ghostface. Yeah, Tony Starks. Speaking of Tony Starks, I got the Wu shirt on, and then this wasn't planned.
What's your name, boss?
Hell no.
Lee.
Who's Lee?
It's my grandpa's friend.
Okay.
Those are my Iron Man socks.
He's seen you on YouTube.
Yeah, those are Iron. So if you don't know, Wu-Tang is a hip hop crew, well known. And one of the guys is Tony Starks or Ghostface Killer, they call him. And he goes by Iron Man also, which is the Iron Man album he put out was one of my favorite albums and album covers. They got the Wallaby Clarks all dyed different colors and everything, all different flavors of Wallabies. And Wallaby Clarks, yeah, the shoes with the gummy soles. Some of my favorite. I got a nice little collection of those too. Yeah, so he got me all into the Clarks. But anyway, these Iron Man, they call him Iron Man too. Tony Starks, Ghostface. What else do they call him? And so funny, yeah, I got the Iron Man socks on and the Wu-Tang shirt. Anyway. Diesel, what you wearing right now? Diesel probably got a clown mask on or a hockey mask, painted all different colors, probably rocking a hockey jersey, some sort of team jersey with some camo, drinking a cold beer.
Oh, yeah? What's the name of his channel?
Here, he's asking what your channel name is.
Last week or so, seen Cypress Hill app. Oh, what? No way, Diesel. Right on, bro. That's a good lineup right there. Yeah, Far Side also. So the Far Side. So when I lived in Hollywood, up in it's Los Feliz, still considered like Hollywood Hills and all that. Up in the cut right there is where they had a spot where they called the Log Cabin, California. I guess it was maybe like their studio. I don't know if they're living together or what. And I would see them sometimes shopping at the Food for Less right on Western and Sunset. I would see some of the Far Side guys sometimes. And then Dilated Peoples for sure, man. Evidence Evidence is a writer, graph writer, graffiti writer. So we know him. I mean, I don't know him like that, but on that level, we know about him and what he write, who he is, and on that street level. But then musically as well respected out here. One of my favorites. And I remember one time, yeah, I don't know if maybe I still have it, but I think it was their second or third album that dropped. We met at the Beverly Center. They had like a small low key meeting and signing. Yeah, we rolled up like fans or whatever, but we're young. And yeah, they signed the heck. We brought writing utensils, street writing utensils, and they were like, "Oh yeah, definitely stoked." So they signed the heck out of the album. Super cool cats. And then Raka Iriscience, who's Evidence's partner from Dilated Peoples, his brother is actually, I don't know if they're still together, but his brother is together with a friend of ours that we went to high school with. So there's all these weird little connections with different hip hop groups and stuff like that out of this LA area.
Honestly, I don't know anything.
I could go in on some stories for sure.
That's right. Hell yeah, bro. I'll drop the link to your channel right now, man, in a moment.
And then big up to Atmosphere. One of my favorites, Slug. And what's his DJ's name? I should know it off the end.
Hey, message me on Instagram.
That's what's up. And those guys are from the Midwest. One of my favorite groups in hip hop or music, whatever. And
email me.
So Atmosphere I was talking about Aesop Rock yesterday, and one of my favorites who's looking like he's dropping an album because there's 2 tracks that he's got out with videos that I've shared in my posts. We're talking about this, right? And he's on Atmosphere's record label. So Atmosphere Slug is Rhyme Sayers Entertainment Music, right? Rhyme Sayers Entertainment. That's his record label. And I remember Aesop used to be on Definitive Jux and what's the other record label? I forget. Anyway, so yeah, it's super cool that Slug's been doing really good. It seems like, as far as his record label and everything, and yeah, still dropping music. And so Aesop Rock's gonna be dropping that album under Rhyme Sayers Entertainment, which is cool. He's done several projects under that. So I'm excited, super excited about that. It's been a long time since I've heard some really good hip hop music, since I've wanted to go actually even purchase an album, and I will be getting that. So check that out if you haven't. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's a couple of tracks. Just look for Aesop Rock in my posts, and it's some good hip hop music for you. Let's see, hockey jersey and camo. Yeah, that's Diesel Steez. And yeah, let's get the heck out of here. I don't know. This is really stretching out. We'll get an update at some point. But pretty interesting to see all that movement of machinery and law enforcement. All right, let's give that a break. Where am I at? There we go. And there's Amanda. What's up, Amanda? Good evening. Good evening. Hope you're well. And Amanda, I still haven't gone in fully on your channel, but I do believe you were mentioning Wolf Creek, was it, Oregon? And I think Jeremiah from Bigfoot Society, he immediately jumped into the chat and was like, hey, I would love to talk to you. And I believe you answered, you're like, oh, you're a little bit shy, maybe would like someone there. And I think, Jeremiah is a good host, and I think you should feel pretty comfortable with him. Although I mentioned we were talking about maybe talking, and with Jeremiah, you got to sign some sort of thing, and I was just like a little thrown off by that. But and so you might be too if you're already shy to a little bit shy, and I totally get that. Believe me, it's surprising that I'm even talking here now. Um, but yeah, thankfully I'm flowing, chilling, not pressuring myself too much. And we will get into eventually some stuff. I got some Bigfoot stuff lined up that's pretty gnarly. It's uh kind of have made my way into some we would say rabbit holes. Dr. Longo over at Old World, Florida was like, "Oh, F the rabbit holes." The rabbit holes. He's like he mentioned something about what gopher holes. I don't know. Whatever. Mole holes, wormholes, portholes, whatever type of hole you like. Call it what you like. But anyway, it was leading me, because I'm like, all right, let's think of some Bigfoot stuff. We've been checking we stumbled. I read some reports yesterday off of the Bigfoot Mapping project, and I was like, damn, I need to practice reading more. Yeah, it had been several days that I took off. I was warming up and reading good, and anyway, I blamed it on the shades. Yeah, it makes it a little different. But yeah, we read a couple of reports off of that, and someone in, I think it was Squatch and Holler's chat today was trying to ask Squatch and Holler if, and I think anyone else, if he uses that particular database. And I was like, hey, yeah, that's a pretty good one. I've been using it lately. And if anyone was turning in reports to that, but I was just mentioning, I was like, yeah, I've been reading off some of those new reports. So we did that yesterday, and then BFRO doesn't have anything new, but they always have some old stuff. And we're talking about San Bernardino County, Kern County. There's some reports out of there that we could always, those throwback reports. I'm always interested in that. We could always dive into stuff like that. But I was like, yeah, thinking Bigfoot stuff. What could we get into? And then, yeah, there was some maps I was showing yesterday of some like statistics and numbers. We're talking about what states rank where, first, third, last, and they always put Hawaii last. I think, man, I'm telling you, I've said it before. I've seen some big brothers from the islands out there, and there's big brothers from other islands, and so it's possible for an island to hold big creatures. I think so, but of course, Hawaii's known for the menuhenis, the little people, the duendes, dwarfs. Um, Many names for them. Of course, the night marchers, and yeah, a lot of paranormal stuff in Hawaii. Of course, shout out to Ghost of Hawaii on YouTube, still doing lives out there. Um, and yeah, I love the islands. Can't wait to go back. We've talked about some experiences I've had out in the islands. But yeah, we're statistics. What's who's ranking where currently 2024, 2025 now. We're already well into the year. It's amazing, right? All types of happening. Don't stop. And so yeah, of course it's Washington, and then California gets thrown up in the mix for sure. I've heard other people rep states throughout the years as second and third. Some even want to take first. And who knows, it's like who's doing the Bigfoot census out there. It's interesting. So there was some articles we had pulled up that actually had some maps with some numbers, and we're kind of dashing through the article, just scanning. And my thing was to actually point out that I had thought about this a while back, and I was like, what's interesting, because and it's funny. You got what is it? Peter Davenport up in Washington who takes the UFO reports and everything. But so I've known Washington for being, number one in Bigfootery, right? And And then it came to my attention that also Washington has ranked very high and first place too at times, or up there with UFO sightings. So I was like, ooh, okay, that's, and people don't like to mix those two. And I get it, but I'm thinking, well, if that's a thing, so we look at the next coming up states, ranking up states on the list, and then yeah, Cali's up there, right? Second, third, wherever you want to put us. I'm just glad we're up there. and but then California as well is up there with those same. I think California is number one with the UFO sightings, and so I was going to had some of those articles up too. So we'll get into that later. That could be a whole other night or day whenever we decide to do these live streams. And thank you everyone for hanging out and chilling. And if you gotta go, then you gotta go. No worries. There's Fast Hemi. So yesterday I was mentioning Derek Galloway's live stream. He was live streaming yesterday. It was cool to hear. I thought he was using like an AI voice. I thought he was going to sound completely different. It was my first time listening to him. And then Fast Hemi pulled up really quick, like always, pulling up hot, tires smoking. And we got to talking. I always thought Fast Hemi was up in Canada for some reason. Yeah. I pictured him in British Columbia. Yeah, Fast Hemi. But he was like, nah, man, I'm in the Pine. What did you say? Pine Barrens or something? He says something. And I was like, what? In Jersey? Something like that. We found out that Fast Hemi's in Jersey. I was like, oh, yo, do you follow my boy Diesel in New Jersey? He's like, no. And so I was like, oh, well, check him out. And so I shared your link, Diesel. So hopefully you got a new subscriber there with Fast Hemi and maybe a couple others who might have been listening to Derek's chat there. So yeah, I put it out there when I meet people that are from where I may know someone from, and I think that it may be cool for them to connect. I'll try to link them up, And yeah, big up to all the channel creators up here chilling. Yeah, anytime I could get traffic your way or whatever, I'm sending them right your way. Hey, yeah, over there. Got what is it? Not the glow sticks. That was like the raver days. You know what? We've been talking about like haircuts and stuff like that. Not for me, because I don't cut my hair no longer. It's been a while. But there's a hairstyle out here, and man, we might have to pull this up. Let's see. And it's called, you guys know the Edgar? Is it like the Edgar thing out there? Edgar haircut. And these dudes are like, they're not to mess with. Definitely not dissing these dudes or anything. But it's an interesting hairdo. And we'll have a look here. Anyone familiar with the Edgar? No doubt, D. Yeah, one love. And, hey, whenever, don't forget about those banners. Send them on over. We'll put them up at the asylum or wherever need be. Right on, Fast Hemi. Thank you, sir, for being such a great human being. And let's peep the Edgar. Anyone know anyone with the Edgar? I see all Edgars all the time. And you'll hear this online, you'll see things related to the Edgar. There's a few examples there. Look at that. That's an Edgar right there. And let's see if we could get a few more examples really quick. And again, no offense to the Edgars out there. Let's see. Here's a few examples. I don't know about this. I guess. I'm sure Instagram you'll find some really good ones. Look at this one. Looks like Jim Carrey there in Dumb and Dumber, right? But yeah, no, these are some serious cats. Don't be mistaken. You don't want to mess with the Edgars out there. And yeah, just a few little examples there. Boom. Yeah, straight up. Bowl cut. And yeah, where were we going? So some of these we're looking at some of these maps and I was trying to match some things there. Or not match them, just letting them do their thing and seeing how they're coming together in that way, the UFO Bigfoot phenomenon. And again, you know, shout out to Jessica Jones, and she brought up again that the map of the missing 411 and the cave systems, which I don't completely knock it, but I do question it. I think the 411 phenomenon is a lot more going on. We talked about the air phenomenon. Obviously, it's happening in the airplanes disappearing. It's happening in the water. He's got that book, Air, Land, what is it, Law? Missing 411 Law, Land, Air, Water. And so we talked about how that map is years old. Also, the missing 411 map, it's been updated. I remember he updated it one time. I remember getting the original one, and then one time after that, there was like an updated a little bit after. This was years back. And so since then, there's been a lot of more reports. And if they're like officially these 411 type of reports, which I question a lot of them, got to throw out my politest disclaimer there. We got to question all these reports, but I do believe there is something going on. And who knows? It could be all of the above. Bigfoot taking people, UFOs taking people, these other cryptids, other entities, the portal, everything, and there's more things that we're going to be learning about that could be involved with this stuff. And as we go, and so I think there's going to be more places showing up. They talk about the middle part of the country, it being kind of blank, and so maybe whatever's taking people is in that area. Very possible, but I think there's he just touched on some reports that might be in that particular area where reports don't really come from. And so if we add the reports that we've heard since those maps have been made, I think that map would look a lot different and probably may match the cave systems. And then I believe this morning they were trying to maybe throw in the ley line thing also. I'm not sure. Forget about that. And so yeah, I don't know if it would match up. Maybe it'd still match up, but it would have a bunch of other places as well, because you have the sobering coincidence phenomenon. So there's like different where are you going, camera? Can I trip you out there? Because of my different what happened there? Camera flipped out. All right. Where are we? Yeah, there's different you could even say sex or different parts of the 411 phenomenon. So you have the inner city stuff, you have the rural stuff, you have the stuff going on in the air, the water, right? The stuff going around boulders. So, because I don't think, it could be that the same thing is maybe taking people out in rural places and is taking the dudes out of the bars. Maybe it's all one. And at the end, yeah, I do think like, at one point it's like it's all the see here. It's all the just in different forms. and yeah, you could break it down to its cryptid type or entity type. And it's just the way I think about it. I don't know. But yeah, I would like to, maybe I'll get on that map situation, start putting pins. I talked about it, putting pins where Dave's been reporting, where the cases we've been finding. Let's see, the old world probably made bunkers and such as well. Yes, word up. Yeah, it just seems like the more you dig, the more we find. And it keeps going out, going and going. And there's probably things living under us for sure. And speaking of caves, we'll get into some stuff. So I'm gonna try and segue. Maybe we'll see. There goes the camera again. The camera doesn't like when I pinch my hands like that. Like, could I get you to? Yeah, it's weird. You don't like that one, huh? I'll be careful. And that's how I activate my camera. I do the how. Gotta greet it. Let's see. Yeah, Ninja Dave's got to go to work tomorrow. So do I. But we're rocking and rolling. You get yourself some rest. Everyone else, get yourself some rest. But I'm going to keep on talking here. Why? Because I'm feeling it. I'm just glad to have one other person here. Maybe we got two. Diesel's still in here. Everything built Tetris style on top of each other. Yeah, weird, huh? Yeah, man. And so anyway, yeah, maybe we'll start sticking pins and update that map for Dave. Maybe I could pitch it to him like, hey, bro, I updated the map. Chip me off a few bucks. I got you. Let's see. So yeah, so one of those maps we're looking at, it was one of the Bigfoot ones. I had tapped in and we're looking at Cali because Cali was up there with the numbers, and there was a few like pinpoints on the map, and we're looking at it. And then one I tapped on, and it was in the Sierra Nevadas, Calaveras County, and I was like, all right, this is on last night's stream. It was a perfect segue to get into some of the topics I want to get into, and it was having to do with Bigfoot in the Sierras again. So I'm like, here we go. Things are guiding me towards the Sierra Nevadas again, which I don't mind. I love it. I would love to spend more time up there. And I've heard so much from that area. And we've done Yosemite. What else have we done in the Sierras? Oh, Tahoe. Yeah, Tahoe. And so all these places are known for all the different anomalies and strangeness. We talked about the Nevada Triangle, and that's, part of that's up in the Sierras. I was gonna pull a little. I think we've pulled that little map before, possibly of the Nevada Triangle. It's kind of a weird shaped triangle there, but I see it, and it's dang it. I was trying to remember last time, but I think it is like very near Area 51. So is it Vegas, Fresno? So Fresno's in the mix for sure. We're talking about, so it's like next to Bakersfield. I think Fresno's more active as far as wildness and population and all that. So yeah, but then high strangeness too. So Fresno, watch out. You get the Fresno night crawlers, right? There was another one, dang it. This one I took off also, but they were talking about some giants being found in Yosemite. And that's over at the National Park Service website. There's this and I read the article, and it was getting into, I think it was a park ranger that stumbled into some files that said a mummy, some sort of mummy or mummy giant. And yeah, they had found these a female mummy with a small one, and they were giants. And I don't know if they were the redheaded ones that we hear about, but yeah, some sort of giant skeletons being found, mummified giants in the Yosemite area. And then, of course, yeah, the hauntings, like what is it, the hotel there? I believe it's closed now, or they've been talking about closing that popular hotel, Awani. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong there. But yeah, it's a paranormal hotspot, and I wonder why they're closing it. So yeah, stuff was like, yo, touch on the Sierras. We've touched on the Sierra, so we've done a few, I think, maybe a couple Sierra live streams. So if you go back and they're interested in stuff about the Sierras and stuff we got into, like the Sierra Kills situation, the Bigfoot Sierra Kills situation, yeah, go back and check out those streams. So yeah, so that's one big situation that comes up out of the Sierras is the Sierra Bigfoot Kills. And if you're wanting to know more on that, just look that up. Quite a few things should pop up, and it's one of those things. I guess it's been a while, but it's being talked about again. It's kind of went down low for a bit, and STM recently did some docs on that. So yeah, bringing that whole situation back up, and I got to learn a whole lot. I heard from a few people before of what the situation was and what went down. But yeah, Chico. Um and so yeah, it was cool to hear more about that whole situation. And there's been other situations that have happened or supposedly happened. Yeah, some did happen, some supposedly in the Sierras and having to do with Bigfoot. And apparently, uh, which is another topic we've been getting into out here is like the serial killers, which is a thing that I don't know. It's like America has a thing with serial killers, right? It's almost like it's this cancer that America has that we produce so many and all this stuff, and we're into. And of course, growing up watching movies and crazy stuff, it's like it comes up, and we went to go check out Richard Ramirez where he got nailed. We went to the Cecil where he used to stay, and there's a lot of different places around here, where the Hillside Strangler left victims and stuff like that. There's all these areas around here. There's a Black Dahlia murder case, very famous. A lot here in LA for sure. And there's been other places where we touched on where things like that have happened. So again, arm yourselves with the mighty shield of your creator as we get into some of these dark topics tonight. And if not, peep us out later. Hey, I'm sure you'll find it interesting. Trust me. And also, I do maybe do it after. I thought we're going to check out some of the webcams first and see what's going on out there. Maybe we will do that first. I don't know. Or maybe we'll get to reading some of this stuff. Yeah, no, it was interesting. So there was several cases that popped up, and I was like, whoa, all right. This I hadn't heard about, and I think we should talk about. And it has to do again with these serial killers and Bigfoot. Yeah, trip out. So one for starters was a case we had touched on. It was a missing girl out of the Sierra Nevadas. And apparently this guy, I think she was a teenager at the time, which is kind of weird, had gone up with this man up into the mountains, and she had never came back. What up, Hillbilly Herb? Yeah. Cheers, my ninja. Blessed love. Hope you're nice and toasty. And yeah, let me get my drink here. Yeah, anyone remember that when we touched on that case there? We read I believe it was maybe one or two articles on that, and there have been people in the past. I know brother Steve Stockton had touched on it, and it's a weird one, because there is a news reports on this, and there's one guy in particular who actually did a whole pretty deep dive and article on it, and we'll pull that up in a second here. But yeah, the Sierra Nevada is well known right here for, again, high strangeness, disappearances. It's the Yosemite being the epic center at the moment for the 411 phenomenon. according to Senor Politis, and I don't doubt it. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into it here. Actually, let's see. No updates. So yesterday we were touching on unfortunately a missing person, old elderly lady out of San Mateo, California. And so still no updates on that or any findings of her. See, there have been like news updates, but nothing of her being found, which is pretty alarming now. Going in on day 5, and we've been talking about how the weather's been out here, and I could only imagine maybe closer to the coast. I don't know exactly where this refuge, I think they were calling it, is, but I would imagine it gets cold at night. And so, yeah, it did, send some prayers out and some vibes that hopefully she does get found safely. And hopefully you all out there listening could send some prayers and vibes out also. And this is ABC7 News. Crews focusing on possible gaps in search for missing 79-year-old San Mateo County hiker. So crews focusing on possible gaps. Not sure exactly what they mean by that. But there's a video there in this particular, this is 2 hours ago, maybe 3 now that this was posted. And let's see. Yeah, it doesn't say anything. Yesterday we did check out a newsreel. And it's the Lost Trail. So McKinley has been missing since Thursday when she and Durgan, a friend, were hiking the Lost Trail, okay, in the Windy Hill Preserve. Trippy. Yeah, I didn't hear the name of the trail yesterday. So yeah, well, we can keep sending those good vibes out and pray for something good to happen out of this. I just wanted to touch on that really quick. And in my opinion, very, very strange, I think. And then yesterday when I was trying to get on the Google Earth to check out the area, and that's when the stream kind of just, things went black for me here, and the stream kept going too. I was like, well, I exited the live stream, but apparently it was still recording. I was like, dang it. So a heads up for anyone watching yesterday's stream, I did put a warning on there. And yeah, trippy stuff. And then today I got word that there's another similar as far as in missing. And we've been touching on a few cases out of Oregon, the little boys there was what, 1, 2, I think it was 2 or 3 cases recently, 2 for sure out of Oregon. Oh, it was the third was the little boy out of Arizona, and that was a happy ending to that case there, where he was found by a dog, was missing overnight, and was found pretty safe. And so that was a good ending to that. And they've been updating that, the boy went back to meet up with the dog and stuff. So super cool that the boy and the dog still got a friendship going there. And yes, Hillbilly, for sure, makes me think. And Amanda here chatting with Diesel. Yeah, Amanda, I was gonna say, yeah, I gotta check out your channel there, because it looks like some interesting videos. And Wolf Creek, we're talking about Wolf Creek and Jeremiah getting excited. So hopefully you get to chat with him. And then at the same time, here anytime anyone wants to chat, we could do that. I did put out a phone number. We'll share some links later. But there's a way for me to post a link here in case, in the future anyone wants to jump on here, or maybe even after we get into some of these articles. All right. So we touched on that one. And so today it came to my attention that there's, I believe it's a brother and sister missing. So this is with our neighbors to the northeast, over in Nova Scotia, that a pair of kids were missing, brother and sister, siblings. And yeah, it seems like they're out in the woods and they don't believe that there's any abduction at play. So it's, a little odd. So we'll take a look at that really quick right now, too, while this is fresh. And the person that brought this to my attention was also mentioning that I believe the little girl, it's a boy and a girl, that the little girl may have some sort of speech impediment, which is, one of those pointers in the phenomenon, 411 phenomenon. And who knows, let's definitely send prayers out for them too. And we'll pull up that news article right now. Let's see. Yeah, grab your snacks, y'all. Just kick back or set this stream for later. And don't forget to share this out with maybe someone that you feel might like to peep it. And with any of the information we're sharing tonight, if anyone can relay anything, like we had Chris drop in late last night, who's hopefully going to be bringing us some feedback out of the local mountains here. And then let's see, there we are. So here it is. It's CBC. And I'm going to scroll this up a little bit. Searchers race to find 2 Nova Scotia kids missing since Friday. So there is a little video to this. We'll check this out.
Volunteers combing the woods, hoping for any trace of 2 missing children, pushing through rough terrain and dense woods, looking for 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack.
So 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. And as you can see here, there seem to be in the woods there. So a lot of thick woods in the area.
I just absolutely love bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack, bugs. They're like best friends, not just brother and sister.
Police say they think the 2 children wandered off from their home in rural Nova Scotia on Friday.
So wandered off, very similar to all the cases with the little boys recently. They all wandered from home. And, in all those cases, we've been questioning, like, where are the parents? What was going on? How, what happened? And not to blame them because, yeah, things could happen. People fall asleep. You could get distracted. I get it. But at the same time, I know if you're living even in the city, living anywhere, leaving kids on their own could be very, very dangerous. And got to keep that in mind.
Friday. The family lives in Lansdowne Station, a wooded and sparsely populated area more than 100 kilometers from Halifax.
Wonder if there's
the children's
water
stepfather
nearby.
says he last heard and saw Lily and Jack that morning.
And as soon as I noticed they weren't there, I immediately jumped right in the vehicle and surveyed all the area, every dirt road, every culvert they could find.
Police say there's no evidence the children were abducted, which is why no Amber
Alert, 'cause no evidence of abduction. And I wonder, was there any tracks, any trails of anything?
Alert has been issued. They're calling in reinforcements to keep searching the area overnight. Searchers are on foot and using dogs and drones. But for now, they're asking the public to stay away.
We've heard a lot about the impact that this is having on the community at large and the family. And it's really important that we.
And also, I wonder, of course, it being two separate countries here in Canada and how they go about, uh, you know, uh, situations like this. I wonder what differences there is and how that affects, investigations and searches and all that.
We locate these children.
Many also lending a hand outside the search perimeter, preparing 3 meals a day to fuel the searchers.
It's almost, you could say, a literal army of people from across this province who care, who are concerned, and who are doing their very best to try to reach and find these children in time.
A community holding its breath and hoping for good news. Nicola Sagan, CBC News, Pictou County, Nova Scotia.
All right. So it didn't mention anything about, the speech thing. But yeah, scary stuff, Where could they be? Where could they go? I've questioned, like, it's almost like if something guides them away from their house, what makes you want to go deeper into the woods or deeper into somewhere that's not your home? I don't know. I find it weird. And so, yeah, we'll be keeping them in our prayers, and I'll be keeping an eye on that situation there. And Amanda, yeah, no worries that you haven't posted in a while. Hey, and I can't wait for you to make a comeback. That's always good. It's good to take breaks. And but yeah, I don't know if you do some. It seemed like from some of the videos that I glanced through, I don't know if you do stuff on private property as well, which is super cool. And so, yeah, couple strange cases there, I think, and thought I'd share that out with you all. So next, let's see. So we'll dive into that case while we're still in slowly transition. It's another missing persons case. This is a throwback, and it's the one I was mentioning about the girl not coming back after taking a trip with this man up into the Sierra Nevadas. And let's see here. And I'll bring in a couple articles that I brought up yesterday because it'll kind of touch on some of this stuff here. Let's see. Here we go. So this is the Claremont Sun and Mark Hoover. This is the guy that I was mentioning that did the deep dive on this case here. So did Bigfoot kidnap a missing California teenager in 1987? And if you're not familiar with this one, yeah, definitely a must read. And in the beginning here, he, of course, gets into Bigfoot and the P&G, Bob Giblin, Bluff Creek there, the footage. And then let's see, on June 1st, 1987, a 16-year-old teenager named Teresa Ann Byer and a man named Russell Welch, 43, went camping in California's Sierra Nevada mountain range. Allegedly, Welch has encountered the legendary Bigfoot creature in the past. So this dude's had supposed encounters with Bigfoot before. And after Byer and Welch entered the mountains, only Welch returned. He claimed to have last seen Teresa, on June 2nd. He said they both encountered Bigfoot and that Teresa chased after the creature. He didn't see her again. Of course, authorities didn't believe Welch. They launched a comprehensive search in the area where Byer and Welch allegedly camped. They didn't find Byer. She had vanished. Authorities arrested Welch on June 11th and charged him with abducting Byer. However, they couldn't prove Welch had taken her against her will. Some of her friends said that Teresa planned to skip school on June 1st and search for Bigfoot. So she was planning on going Bigfooting, squatching. And I guess with this dude, it seems a little odd. And who would let their daughter go off with this guy like that? They also found no evidence that Welch had killed Byer, although authorities understood that Bigfoot abduction sounded absurd. They dropped their charges against Welch and released him. The prosecutor did not want to ask a jury to convict a man with no evidence. The prosecutor felt that once they uncovered evidence, they could always arrest Welch and prosecute him later. Over 30 years have passed since Byer vanished in the California wilderness. Authorities still haven't prosecuted anyone for Teresa's disappearance. Okay, and then it says when authorities looked into Teresa's background, what they found troubled them. She was considered a slow learner and bounced around foster homes for most of her life. She eventually ended up living with an uncle named John Richmond. He was an acquaintance of Russell Welch. Richmond contacted authorities after she didn't return home on June 1st. Today, Teresa Byer's disappearance remains just as extraordinary as the Bigfoot legend itself. After reviewing various details about this case, I had many questions. For one, why would Teresa be with it's a bunch of questions, and that's basically, a little nutshell there of this case. And you could check this out yourself. I'm sure you could pull up maybe some other articles having to do with this. And yeah, this is one I'll keep digging at too, see if anything else ever comes out of this. And has anyone, I don't know if anyone's done like a documentary or anything on, I don't know if I've seen like a full-on documentary on this, but it would be interesting. And let's see. There you go. And here we go. Diesel in the Clutch says perhaps Bigfoot saved the girl from getting killed or hurt that night by that man and now lives in the forest being safe. Ooh. That would be very interesting. And I have heard stuff like that, weird stuff of people not like completely living with Bigfoots and stuff like that. But there was one girl like up in the Six Rivers National Forest near the Bluff Creek area, and I was told by a pretty reliable source that yeah, there was this chick up there, and she might have been growing a few plants for herself or something like that, or maybe she was on a property, who knows. But that was the word, and people knew about her, but then eventually yeah, she ended up, I guess, passing away. She was missing. She was found, I guess, with I don't know if her ankle or something was broken, But before all that, she was living way up in the middle of nowhere, and she would come down to town, small little towns around there, for supplies or whatever else she needed. But then she would head back up in the hills, and then she was telling her mom that she was having Sasquatches visiting her, and that they had almost like this thing going on and stuff, and I don't know, it seemed like she wasn't, like, afraid, like, she didn't leave there running and for her life or anything like that, but then, yeah, eventually, she passed away, and, yeah, it's just one of those stories that you hear from those areas up there. It makes you wonder. Chiro Sounds. Yes, Chi, good to see you, Chi. Hope you're well, hope you had a good weekend, Chi, hope you're having a good start to the week, as well as to Gerald, if he's in here. Not sure if Gerald's in here, but you let Gerald know that for me, Chi, please, if he's not. And yeah, much love to you both. Let's see. Young adults and teens think they're oh yeah. I would know my daughter will be 22 and has left with yeah. Yep. Random people, which yeah, it's and people used to, like, the youth used to do it a lot more back then too. I want to say, the kids. I mean, they do go out now still and do dumb, dumb stuff, but dumb. But a lot of them seem to be on these devices more, so they're doing things differently. It's not like the youth that didn't have these devices and used to go out and explore a lot more and everything, right? Uh yeah, it's just it's weird how times have changed. And like the hitchhiking is another thing, which people still do it up north, especially when the whole green rush thing was going on. I was like, people still hitchhiking up there, and yeah, people going missing up in Emerald Triangle and stuff. Yeah, so that's one that came to mind out of the Sierra Nevada. Super interesting case there. Yeah, share this out with someone that you think might find it interesting. Maybe you know someone up in the Sierra Nevadas, or maybe know someone who may have been involved in this situation, or knows someone that knows someone. You know how things work. You never know. And yes, that brings me, or that brought me to a whole other case. So, is that guy a killer? Who knows? He wasn't charged for it. Um, and hopefully she is, in a good place. Let's say that. It's so mysterious. But yes, Sierra Nevadas. And we have another one. So earlier we were talking about the Bigfoot kill situation. Got to throw that out again. And that's a whole other hairy situation out of the Sierra Nevadas. And then this popped up, and I was like, what the heck? Let's see here. So, and I remember when this happened. So, there's been quite a bit of crime that's happened in national parks, and Yosemite is one of them, which is surprising. Like, you don't think that crimes would be happening and stuff like that. Oh man, let me tell you, you name it, and it's going on in there. And as I look for this article here, where are we at? Should put a little Jeopardy music. But no, we got some sounds. Let's see here. All right, little vibe there while we search for this next case out of the Sierra Nevadas. Let's see here. Maybe someone could guess it. Maybe someone knows about it. Again, this is another one that I haven't heard many people talk about. It's pretty new to me, and it was shocking. And I want to say it's possible that I had heard of it before, but I think it would have really stuck with me because I remember when this dude was around and when he got busted for this. So let's see. Where are you? Really hiding from me. Here we go. Let's see. Right here. Got it. Thank you for being patient. Here we go. Anyone recognize this face here? Gerald, what's up? Good to see you. Bless up, brother. Anyone recognize this face here? Yes. Carrie Stainer. And if you don't know who Carrie Stainer is, we'll go ahead and check this out and see what it tells us. But yeah, I can't forget that face, and that's the guy on the left. Let's have a look here. I'll just read right under the pictures there. It says Carrie Anthony Stainer, born August 13th, 1961, is an American serial killer and the older brother of kidnapping victim Steven Stainer. Okay, keep that in mind. He worked as a mechanic in Mariposa County, Butterfly County, California. And then let's see here. It pulls up the wiki. And if anyone remembers anything about this guy, let us know in the chat. Drop what you know in the chat. I know some of you do get into this whole scene of serial killers and true crime and everything. And hopefully you can see this on your end here. We'll double check. Boom. I guess I could read it like that too. It says Carrie Anthony Stainer, born August 13th, 1961, is an American serial killer and older brother of kidnapping victim Steven Stainer. He worked as a mechanic in Mariposa County, California, and murdered 4 women between February and July 1999, dumping their bodies near Yosemite National Park, leading to him being guilty and received a death sentence in 2002. He is currently awaiting execution at San Quentin State Prison, which is not far from, that's right there in the Bay Area, not far from Alcatraz. I don't know if anyone heard that our old president, Senor Trump, Presidente Trump, would like to reopen Alcatraz. What do you think about that? Remember with Pops, we had gone up to San Francisco. Brother had a karate tournament, did amazing. And so Dad and I were hanging out quite a bit, and we went to go check out the Alcatraz. Got some fireworks going on in the background there. Yeah, the ferry did a little spin around the Alcatraz there, so we didn't get to get on the island, but yeah, it was cool to check out from a distance. And I was reminding bro about that. He was like, "Oh yeah, dude, I got sick. I didn't go with you guys." I was like, "Oh shoot, I forgot about that." So yeah, bummer for him, but yeah, it was cool to check out. And yeah, another paranormal hotspot, possible old world structure, that Alcatraz there. And then so let's get into his early life here. Carrie Stainer was born on August 13th, 1961. the first of 5 children born to Delbert Foy and Kay Stainer of Merced, California. He had 3 sisters and a younger brother, Stephen Gregory Stainer. On December 4th, 1972, 7-year-old Stephen was abducted by child molester Kenneth Parnell. Trip out on that. He was held by his abductor 38 miles away in Mariposa County and later in, wow, check that out, Mendocino County, until he was aged 14 when he managed to escape with another of Parnell's victims. Wow. Timothy White. Stainer later stated that he felt neglected while his parents grieved over his loss of Stephen. When Stephen escaped and returned home, he received the massive media attention, which resulted in the 1989 release of a television miniseries based on his experience, I Know My First Name is Stephen. Based on the true crime book of the same name, Carey once again felt overshadowed by the attention his brother got. Stephen, who later married and had 2 children, died in a motorcycle accident in 1989. Although it is believed that his brother kidnapping contributed to Stainer's homicidal pathology, he claimed to authorities after his arrest that he had begun fantasizing about abducting and murdering women when he was 7 years old. Prior to the abduction of his brother, while a friend of his sister was staying over at his house, he exposed himself to her. At the age of 3, Stainer diagnosed with, what is this? Trichotillomania? And put on medication through the condition continued to affect him during his high school years. Consequently, bald spots led him to being severely bullied and having to perpetually wear a baseball cap. He exhibited intelligence that was noted by classmates and teachers, and he was put in accelerated classes as a result. Due to his cartoon contributions to the school newspaper, he was named the most creative student in his graduation class at the age of 18 at Merced High School. After graduating, so it goes on a little bit more and it doesn't, let's see, talks about he tried offing himself and stuff like that. But there's something we're going to get into here. I don't know if it does in the wiki here, but it did in several articles. So it goes on quite a bit there. So just a little heads up on who Carey Stainer is. And actually, from what I remember, it was, I think it was 2 tourists. It might have been 3. It was a mother, a daughter, and they were both from Argentina. And they were visiting the States. They were in the Yosemite National Park area. And it was a daughter's friend who might have been, I think she might have been American, or all 3 of them Argentine. But Carrie here got to them, and it was all bad, really bad, really sad situation. And again, I remember when this happened, watching this in the news, living in Hollywood at the time, and just was blown away. And I believe he used an axe or something like that, and nearly, completely is, I think, what it was. I don't know why I said nearly. One of the two, almost did, or I think completely. Yeah. So you could find out more details about that. But there is, let me see, this other stuff I wanted to get into about Carrie. Stop sharing there. And throw a little more vibe, as it might take me a little minute to find this. Let's see here. Where are we at? Boom, got it. So this is Crypto Mundo. Crypto Mundo website. And let's see. Oh no. All right. Well, really quick, this touches actually dang it, on the Sierra Kills. So going back to the Sierra Kills, there's actually some drawings here you could check out of the Bigfoots that were supposedly killed in the Sierra Kills situation. I was always curious to see. So cryptomundo.com, I think it is. And I'll show you the drawings here. And there was a little one involved as well, which is pretty sad if true. Some brief details about the situation. And there's a little one. How could you shoot something like that? I guess maybe if the big one was next to it, but and you were feeling threatened for your life. But looks super cute to me. And not to say that I think that, like, oh, Bigfoots are all cute. Like it would be nice to think of them like that, but I know these things could be highly, and probably are very highly dangerous. And a lot of people tend to think that they're not. And here's a piece of supposed sample that they got from the shooting. And goes in to some other stuff here. I'm not sure what all this is about under here, but it may be related. So a little heads up there. All right. So back to Carrie. Here we go. All right. Right here. Sweet. Glad that didn't take too long there. All right. Crypto Zoo News. Serial killers Bigfoot art. And we'll scroll down here and check this out. And it says a visit to the darkest side of Bigfootery for Halloween. Above, you're looking into the eyes of a killer. So I think they're supposed to be showing a picture of Carrie. It has been almost a dozen years since the serial killer pictured above his eyewitnesses' encounter with a Bigfoot to chillingly allow him to get close enough to murder. Here's a bit of a flashback on that event and related incidents. So, a question for former, this is to his readers, I think, of the museum here. A question for former visitor to the current museum. Let's see. Question for the former visitor to the current museum. Should the ICM display the Bigfoot art of serial killers for educational purposes? Okay, so let's see. Could I do it like that? Maybe not. Two of the more bizarre pieces of art on exhibition during the 2006 Bates College Museum of Art exhibition, Cryptozoology, out of the time place scale, were the drawings of two separate killers who reportedly had seen Bigfoot. Anyone ever heard of this? All right. From San Quentin prison, I received one set of sketches and notes from the Yosemite killer. And you all know who that is now. From researcher Robert Schneck, hopefully I pronounced that right, I obtained the other, linked to a mass murder that inspired the character played by Martin Sheen in Badlands, 1972. Anyone seen that? And directly portrayed in the director Byron Warner's Stark Weather, 2003. The background to these two stories is rather creepy. Be forewarned, but nevertheless belong with the broader context of modern Bigfoot lore. Here's an extract from my 2003 book, Bigfoot, The True Story of Apes in America, about them both. Since Bigfoot is part of the fabric of our culture, it was only a matter of time before the dark side would venture into the Sasquatch realm. Take the case of Charles Starkweather, well known for the Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek movie Badlands. The true sad saga of Starkweather and his 14-year-old girlfriend, Carol Ann Fugate, began in earnest on January 21st, 1958, when the Starkweather killed Fugate's mother, stepfather, and her 2-year-old sister before their Nebraska to Wyoming murder spree was over. 11 people were dead. Whoa. In the journal, Starkweather kept in prison, awaiting death in the electric chair on June 1959. He told of seeing, as a boy, a strange creature outside his Midwest window in the mornings. He described it as a female whose hairy body tapered off from a big chest to a small pointed head. The visitations were accompanied by strange whistle sounds. Starkweather thought it was death visiting him and said of the sounds, it was close and loud at first, but it got further and further away, and the sound became mournful and sad until I couldn't hear it no more. Death did not make him afraid. However, the world on the other side couldn't be as bad as this one. Robert Damon Schneck's article, Death Had a Sagittal Crest, which appeared in the February 1999 issue of Fate magazine, points out the Starkweather's Bigfoot sighting was in many ways classic. It would be easy to ignore this story considering the source. Schneck writes, if it weren't a classic Sasquatch sighting from before the name Bigfoot was ever applied, my emphasis, Starkweather, had no idea what he was seeing. Since he was the kind of person inclined to mass murder, he decided it must be death come to howl at his window. Could mass murder Starkweather have actually seen Bigfoot? For Carrie Anthony Stainer, the confessed brutal slayer of 4 women in Yosemite in 1999, there is no doubt. Stainer stalked the forest of Yosemite He told of seeing a Bigfoot in the woods and being possessed by the hunt for these animals. Squatcher also. A feeling that obviously reflected a wild rage within him. Carrie Stainer can be seen in the background of as the glare of the camera are on his brother and father. Let's see here. And it says Stainer was obsessed with something else, media attention and celebrity. His brother, Stephen Seven, we got into this, was kidnapped on December 4th, 1972. Search parties and news reports did not lead to Stephen, and he remained missing for 7 years. Let's see, we'll skip down here. Then on Valentine's weekend of 1999, Carrie Stainer went on a killing spree. Later that year, he was arrested for murder, charged with killing 3 Yosemite National Park tourists and a ranger. Whoa. The victim's Carol's son, 42, her daughter Julie, son, also 15, both of Eureka. So, yeah, that's Humboldt County. So I don't know if they were living in Humboldt, maybe visiting. They're out here living, visiting. I wonder. I've met quite a few people from South America up that way. And Silviana Peloso also sounds very much Argentine. 16, an exchange student from Okay, so she was an exchange student from Argentina. Were guests at the Yosemite Lodge where Stainer worked. Stainer is now serving a life sentence in federal prison for killing the Yosemite Park guide, Joy Ruth Armstrong. As it turned out, Carrie Stainer had used Bigfoot as his lure to approach and talk with Armstrong. Soon after his arrest, Stainer freely discussed his Bigfoot ploy in an interview with San Jose television newsman Ted Rollins. Stainer was also no longer in his dead brother's shadow, and Stainer kept telling anyone he could about Bigfoot. He told the cab driver on his taxi ride home, the February night he was dumped. Let's see. He says he dumped the bodies. All right. So he used what? He used a taxi? What the hell? Of the Yosemite tourist, Stainer talked about Bigfoot with everyone. Stainer even initiated the call of Bigfoot for reporter Sean Flynn. Did a call, huh? Who wrote a January 2000 article in Esquire on the killings there. A horrible shriek, Carrie tells me, animated now, eyes flushing, revealing in the memory like a woman screaming through a bullhorn right next to the car. And it went on for a long time, and then it faded away to his low growl. And a couple more paragraphs there. Woo! That was a read. And sorry, still warming up here with the reading. And hopefully you found that interesting, which brings me to a few other also recent cases we've seen in the news with like situations happening. Off the bat, I could think of maybe some of you can guess it. Anyone think of any other similar type cases of people being taken out and Bigfoot being involved in some sort of way, whether they believe in it or they had a sighting before. Yeah, off the bat, I could think of this guy here. Who remembers this one? Well, let's pause that. Inside Edition. Oklahoma man allegedly kills fishing partner, says victim had summoned Bigfoot to eat him. Says police, I guess. Yeah, this was a gnarly one. I guess they were out there noodling, and I don't think has anyone done a deep dive into this one? This one was a very interesting one. Oklahoma, right? Out of Oklahoma, where you also have the state of Oklahoma wanting to legalize the hunting of Bigfoot. Is it right? They're trying to pass that law over there, where like as in Canada or up in Washington, they're making it illegal for you to do such. Guess you gotta get those special tags. And so yeah, this was a recent one. This is what 2022 July. So I'm sure it's still probably fresh in a lot of you Bigfooters' minds. And so this one comes up. Of course, it's not the Sierras, but definitely one for the books there. And let's see. And I was interested actually in who that other serial killer was, and that's Charles Starkweather there. Got a couple pictures of him. In case anyone was interested. Let's see, where are we? There we are. That was the other guy that went on that spree, the young lady, and had never heard of him. And yeah, we'll be diving into him next, seeing if we find out any more about his possible Bigfoot experiences. Pretty weird stuff. Boom. All right. Another one was, so this one also made the news. I think it might be a little further back than 2022. And we were talking caves earlier. Even Mammoth Caves came up earlier with Jessica this morning. They were talking caves and cryptids and stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, the Mammoth, because I was thinking about all this stuff in the Mammoth Cave situation. I was going to share yesterday too. It wasn't fatal, but and the homie, big up to the homie Eric over at Media Palace on YouTube. I believe he did do a little dive into this case, and that's the Mammoth Cave Bigfoot shooting. I'll remember that, and it could have been just that maybe the guy had maybe too much to drink, or maybe got into some other stuff, or a combination. But shots fired at it's a national park. And I hear now, I guess there's certain national parks where you could carry, right? Did I hear that right? That was a few years back. And now national parks where you could I think maybe do a little droning. I think they're starting to open up to be able to record and stuff like that. I know David Politis is very happy, and he's coming out with that new documentary. They haven't began filming yet, but they're going to be able to do some recordings at certain national parks. So, but I don't know about Mammoth Caves being a park where you could carry. Is it? Maybe it is. I don't know what the deal is there, but I'm sure even with it being maybe permitted in certain places, when there's the discharging of weapons, I'm sure it becomes a big issue. And in this case, it yeah, made the rounds, made like international news, not international, but what is it? Uh, national news. And I remember this one. I've done some TikToks on this case here. And but yeah, luckily no one hurt. But again, this could have been one of those situations where, you know, people could have gotten hurt, and supposedly Bigfoot was involved in this. You know, who knows? You know, I did like Eric's dive into this, and yeah, it could have been just you know, it happens too. Alcohol and Bigfoot, and things happen. Happens. So be careful out there, folks. Drink responsibly. So yeah, just a few things there having to do with Bigfoot, the news, serial killers, and maybe we'll find. I'm sure there'll be some other things that'll pop up off the top of the dome. I can't remember, um, and I'm sure there is some other. Oh yeah, you know what? Dang it! There is one more article I was going to pull up. It was through Sasquatch Chronicles. I was mentioning earlier over at Hellbent Holler. Sasquatch Chronicles came up, and I'm like, hey, that's what Bigfoot smokes. No one. It was crickets. I think I was only one laughing there. Which happens a lot. But yeah, let's take a quick little look around the Southland. See what's popping out there. I won't hold y'all hostage too long. Lovely Catalina. We'll slide through these pretty quick. That they got the red, they got the Rasta colors going on in Catalina there. Oh no, it's Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo colors. They actually got the Mexican colors up. But what's going on there? Catalina? Or maybe it is just the Rasta colors. Quick little view. Mwah. Lovely Catalina. And we'll skip LAX. We'll go ahead and jump to let's jump up to the mountain really quick. See what it's looking like from Mount Wilson. Ooh. Yeah. Look at that. We're under that. Somewhere under that. Looks like a little island popping up out of the clouds there. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's been pretty thick lately. Ooh, it looked like a little something zip by there. We'll have to look at that later. I thought I seen something kind of shoot down there. Never know. That's what we do these live webs also. We go search, look at different places for the possibility of who knows? You might get a Sasquatch going by, or you might get a little UFO zipping by. Maybe a little orb or two. Never know. And I wonder if Gerald and Chi got their live cam going. I got a feature there. I'm gonna sneak into there. I'm gonna do one of these lives and sneak in, and we'll be streaming their stream. I'll ask permission first, but yeah, we'll go check out their backyard and any other cameras they got set up. We'll be hanging at Chi and Gerald's. All right, Mount Wilson. Lovely view there of this sky farts and more. Let's hop on over to. Of course, we always do Hollywood right quick. See what you're looking like, Hollywood. Can actually see a few lights. It's a few letters there, so it's not as bad. The past few days, it was telling you, it's like those, whatever that funk is, was way down low. Made me think of those plane accidents. We got to pull those up too. Because there's footage of those recent plane incidences, and we did touch on one that we heard about, Ohio tonight. Little plane crash, folks. For anyone stepping in a little late or didn't hear that earlier. Been watching these planes lately, and get the hell out of Hollywood. Let's see. Let's cruise somewhere fun really quick. So these guys don't seems like they don't run a night cam, but it's all good because they still stream day footage. And this one we got audio too, which is a blessing, I think, because you could listen for audio. Never know, you might get some knocks. And this one's pointed at a good direction, right along a water source. You got the redwoods there. I mean, this is Bigfoot's home. One of Bigfoot's many homes. And so, yeah, you never know. Let me get this arrow out of the way here. Yeah, I love checking these out. I check these out even when we're not streaming. And that water's nice and loud. It's a great mic on this. They got a great camera, and it moves. I believe it zooms as well. And the audio is just phenomenal. It sounds great here. You just go to sleep to this. See, this is cool because we're tapering down from the whole serial killer, all that stuff. I didn't want to. I was like, yeah, how could we kind of like, because we're going to dive in deep and dark. How could we kind of end it on something more, a little more light? Like the dog story and the little boy. That was super cool. But yeah, the lovely redwoods. Oh yeah. Here we go. Got a little pan action going. We squatching. Where are they at? We get some timestamps. We're the real crazy timestampers that see all types of everywhere. They're dog man on top of a Bigfoot and this and that and where y'all at? We love you too. What the heck? We got Richard in here from Alaska, y'all. He was notified. Richard, were you notified late? Tina C was sharing some food images. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to say that word, but it's basically that. And it's amazing. It's like some Puerto Nuevo, Mexico. It's like lobsters and goodness. Hardcore munchies. Some good seafood. Can't go wrong with that. And some tortillas. What the hell? Tacos de langosta. Orale. Where's the hot sauce? So this is from earlier today. You can see it was looking kind of like it is down here. It's not quite the. We have more of a funk. Maybe this stuff's a little more natural, although they do spray a whole lot up there. And Tina C, good to see you. Much love to you. Appreciate you sharing quite a bit. Tina C also shared, what was it? Yosemite campground. We'll say it again. I think we did last night. Particular campground where a lot of the climbers, I guess, go to meet up and camp at is going to be closing for a bit. Looks like a couple years. I wonder why they're closing it. I don't think they said anything about renovation. Did they say renovations? Is that what's going on? Maybe they're covering something. Maybe something's going on around there. They're like, nope, can't have these guys camping here for now. Let's shut it down for a couple years. Also, I had some Bigfoot, like there's those FBI files. What else is there? There's some government stuff related. And maybe we'll make that a separate show. Yeah, where they, we'll make it like government Bigfoot stuff we could find. There's a few things. We'll go through those files. And then also there's a BLM video that we'll check out and see how BLM reacts. BLM Oregon, how they react to the Bigfoot topic. Yes, kicking up some ideas there. Let's cruise on over. We're winding down here. Just checking in on some of our favorite places. Yeah. Word up. Much love to the redwoods up there. Next, we go to Mount Shasta. Shasta. Let's do this. All right, no audio on this, but look, that's looking pretty dang weird. Hopefully, dang it. Let's get out of here. Let's see. It's not quite sharing the way I want to. I have to pull it up through here. Hopefully that other stuff was showing. Yeah, dang it. Here we go. We're up on Shasta now, y'all. Yeah, keep an eye out. I don't know what this white stuff is over here. Notice that? I do have the shades on, so. Ooh, look at that. Following my hand. Camera is jerking there. I don't know what's up with this white stuff here. Keep an eye on that. It's looking a little weird. Didn't see that last time. Could be something on the lens. You never know, but it is Mount Shasta. And I think Heidi Pop, hopefully you're not listening to this. I didn't want to get into this stuff because I know Shorty Rock is up that way. So sending good vibes for them. I get good vibes up in the Shasta area. And it could, yeah, of course, get mysterious and scary and stuff, especially at night. But for the most part, I love it up there. And yeah, the weird things do happen over there. All right, we're ending here. Let's see. Boom. It's a quick little armchair squatch. Mount Shasta there. And we gotta hit Crater Lake. Let me hit Crater Lake with y'all right quick, please. Give me a moment. Give us a moment for Crater Lake. Gotta tap in. Let's see. And we've been doing this this site over here where they actually they do a time lapse. Let's see, here we go. All right. So we're in the dark. So that's nighttime. Here we go. Yes. Look at those little light things right there. You guys see, look at these little light. What are those little things popping up? There's a couple little things that popped up there. Time stampers. Check that out. Beautiful. And then let's see, can we, whoops. Can we head, let's see, we got something else. Quick. All right, we could do Mount Hood really quick. Let's go from the Hood to Mount Hood. And there it is. So this is Mount Hood Meadows, thanks to Toyota. peep these cameras. Like this one's playing already. Here we go. Squatch watch, y'all. Keeping an eye out for these things. And how cool would it be to be out up on the mountain there, out there, walking around, wandering around? I've done it. I mean, not that high up, but we've there's been some nights where I've been up on Shasta, walking, wandering around, looking for these things and other things. Can't wait to do it again. It's a must. But wait, this ain't Shasta. This is Mount Hood. What's wrong with you? I know where I'm at. Caught myself there. Fun, fun, fun. All right. I don't see any Sasquatch, but it's always worth a look. And this site's pretty cool here because let me show you. There's actually several cameras. So you got the base area, Snow Stake, top of Blue, bottom of Vista, top of Vista, top of Heather. Hey. Hey, now hold on. Top of Cascade. Hey. And then the Nordic. Oh, yeah. Look at this Nordic cam. Looks pretty interesting. Let's check this out. And speaking of top of Heather, there's an article. I didn't pull this one either, but I guess you could ride the rim. Yes, ride the rim with your bicycle at Crater Lake. Yeah, the rim of Crater Lake. And it was titled like that, Ride the Rim of Crater Lake. And it's some sort of bike activity they're having up there, which is interesting. So I guess around the rim, because last time we were reading that they're actually closing a couple, I think it was a couple trails, one of the more popular trails of Crater Lake. We were touching on that a few weeks back. So I don't know how the ride around the rim works, but yeah. And there's Scully Pop Vids there. Thank you, Izzy, for sharing that out. Excuse me if I've missed any of the conversation. I was going down the hole there. We're talking about holes earlier, and we're talking about rims, Crater Lake rim. But yeah, see, even this is a good area here. I could imagine a Sasquatch just, cruising on by there, maybe on his way to get some dinner or to harass some campers, perhaps. Never know. Maybe doing a little dumpster diving. Oh, yeah. Or some wood knocking. All right. Mount Hood, never been on the list. Let me know your Mount Hood stories, your squatchy Mount. I hear it's super active around there. So, and I know some of the friends have been. Some of our friends might even live in the area. But, yeah, I want to check out the lovely Mount Hood. Boom. Now, before we go, we still have a few little trips. Let's cruise to the East Coast really quick. Why not? Let's see this dude. Here we are. That's how that's looking right there. It's looking kind of misty, a little wet up there. up on the torch. This is a torch cam. Yeah, the Statue of Liberty. And someone named that dude. What do you call him? Yeah, super cool that they got that cam up there. Where my New Yorkers at? New York B. All right. Anywhere else I want to take you? We're armchair traveling here. I want to make sure I take you to all the little spots I wanted to take you. I don't want to like end the stream and be like, oh dang, but I wanted to take them there too. But we're almost there. We could go around the world too. We've been going around the world lately with some of these streams. Can't believe we got into the Edgar haircuts. Definitely check that out. Maybe we'll cut a little short of that. All right. Again, so we'll do this also really quick. We'll have to touch on a show touching on the 12 bodies found in the New England area. Tongue tying's happening now. Should take a sip. What is going on in New England? I want to know. As well as what the heck is going on up in Oregon. Oregon's got several bodies up, I guess, out of the Willamette River being found. And yeah, it's kind of weird. I think they're up at, is it 7 bodies at this point? Yes, I believe so. And you could see here for yourself, 7 bodies found in the Willamette River. And we'll be following this. There's a YouTube channel. What's Homeboy's name? He's up in Portland, Oregon, and he's actually been covering this. He's covered other, I think it was another serial killer that was possibly in the area, dude that was taking out chicks. And yeah, he gets out there in the streets and is proactive on trying to find out for the public what's going on and everything. Could get a little annoying to people, I guess. I could see that, you know. But I check him out, and his name, I forget, Valley Ray on YouTube. And now, so there was some situations happening earlier in the year. He was covering that stuff. And then now he's covering these recent situations as he's in the area. And yeah, you could do a little, do a little search. This stuff will pop up. I think it's pretty alarming, although some of it, there's one that is a young hiker a kayaker from California. It says here, like, body of a 20-year-old went missing. And then, so yeah, they did recover him. I think the other night when I was checking this out, they hadn't recovered it yet, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's they say they do have this situation happen where they find quite a bit of bodies within these areas, but I don't know. It seems quite a lot within a month's time. And so yeah, something I'm keeping an eye on, and hopefully as you are as well. And yeah, anyone interested in talking about any of this stuff that we covered tonight, last night, or any other night, tap in with me, because I could share a link now in the chat. I could drop a link and you could pop in, and we could chop it up like that. And that's the idea here, is to, awareness, education, some entertainment. And yeah, also with that, the whole situation with the serial killers and Bigfoot and all that, I'm telling you, it brings up this whole dark side of Bigfoot. What could these things be? What are they? Uh, we brought up that article yesterday talking about how they're going to make Bigfoot the mascot for California, possibly, depending. And the bill is Bill 666, which could just be representing mankind, the six protons, six neutrons, six electron, carbon, to get into that whole thing. Or you want to look at it as the mark of the beast, the actual, which is interesting too. Can't knock those angles. Gotta keep those cards in hand. And yeah, here we go. I think we'll call it a wrap. Roll it up, light it up. Inhale, exhale. Yeah. Sure. I had some other cams ready to roll, but we'll save those. We'll have more fun with it as we find new ones. And want to send love to everyone out there for hanging out. And if you're peeping this later, muchas gracias. Obrigado. Much appreciated. Let's see. Where am I? Yeah, we'll be doing have a little fun with this. All right, y'all. Bless up. Much love. We out. It's a little scratchy. Get it more hype once we get into it. I got an itch tonight.
Thank you.